Hello folks, at Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here, taking a look at your tropical update brought to you by the good folks at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling. This is for June 24th of 2020. Now, generally this time of the year we're looking into the Gulf of Mexico, just off the east coast to the Carolinas and Georgia and Florida, and then into the northwest Caribbean. We got kind of a bullseye in the elbow of Florida. I'll say this, as we head toward July, we do start to look a little further out and into the Caribbean, and we kind of lose that bullseye a little bit closer to home because there's kind of a broader area that we tend to end up looking for things. And then once we get into August, well, yeah, then things really start heating up. For us, historically speaking, July, at least in South Mississippi, tends to be kind of a lull in the action. We usually get kind of early season event, a little bit of a lull in July, and then later in the season events. It's a lot like for us tornado season in the spring. You know, like January and February, things really kind of pick up. Then March, we get this little bit of a lull. And then as we head into April, things really go, well, you know, as we saw this last year. All right, so what's happening out there right now? Well, we got a cluster of stuff into the Bay of Campeche, and then we've got another little wave out here. We've got a little thunderstorm activity just off of the East Coast. And again, generally, this time of the year, we are looking into the Gulf of Mexico, the Northwest Caribbean, just off the East Coast, kind of right in here. So I suppose these are the two guys that we'd be watching for any kind of development, but as of right now, the National Hurricane Center says nothing. The only thing they are looking at is post-tropical Dolly up here, right in there. That's all that's left of it. Wind at 35 miles an hour, gusting to 45. This is as of the 10 o'clock advisory, moving northeast at 16 miles an hour. That is it for Dolly. It was only a problem for the fish and the boats. Alright, so what's going to happen as we head through the next couple of days? 700 millibar moisture, 850 vorticity map. Anywhere that you see the kind of grayed out area, that's where we got all that Saharan dust and dry air. And you can see that, man oh man, it stretches, I mean, it is just everywhere across the Atlantic. We've even got some more heading up parts of the East Coast. A lot of dry air across parts of the Atlantic. So that puts a lid on anything that can develop. This is through Saturday. Well, as we take things through Monday, we do get kind of a break in here between the dry air that kicked off the coast a couple of days ago and the dry air that's a little bit closer to the coast of Africa. And we've got a little wave in here, and a couple of different things are going to happen. One little piece of this is going to move off to the north. Another little piece of this is going to continue off to the west. And watch what happens as we head through Wednesday. We get one little piece up here. Now, this is our American model. This is a GFS. The European model shows the same thing. It's same little area of, yeah, we got to probably keep tabs on it, just off to the north of Puerto Rico. We're not saying this is a tropical system by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something worth watching. The other thing worth watching is this little area of vorticity down here. Now, the big difference between the American model and the European is, notice that we've got maybe a little bit of dry air in here, a little bit of dry air in here, that's it. The European has this whole area pegged with dry air. So we'll have to see how that shakes out, because that is going to then change what happens here. And this is as we head through the 4th of July. The American model showing something trying to get better developed near the Yucatan Peninsula, where the little thing that was out here kind of falls apart. The European model doesn't see any of this because it has the whole area pegged over with dry air. So we've been talking for the last couple of days, almost a week now, that as we head toward the beginning of July, there is going to be maybe a little bit more to watch as we track the tropics, and the model's picking up on the same thing. We'll have to keep tabs on this through the next couple of days. I wouldn't, change any plans for the 4th of July or anything. But check back with the forecast as we head through the next few days. Just make sure you're not sleeping on what's happening in the tropics. So there's a look at your tropical update for June 24th of 2020, brought to you by the good folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling.